In 1979, an organization was set up in Prayagraj with a single instruction: electrify the Indian railways. When we started, the country ran on diesel. In 2004, we were laying about 1.5 kilometers of electrification a day. By the last few years, we were laying more than 15. In one financial year alone, we crossed 4,700 route kilometers, a record no railway anywhere has matched. Nearly 47,000 route kilometers were added in a single decade. Today, the broad gauge network of Indian railways is 100% electrified. The mandate given to us has been completed. We built the traction distribution network of the largest passenger railway on Earth. Every 25 kilovolt line, every traction substation, every kilometer of overhead equipment from Dwarka to Meghalaya, and Indian Railways as a whole now carries one more deadline. Before 2030, the entire organization is to become a net zero carbon emitter. So it is worth asking the uncomfortable question. We built the network that carries the power. Why are we still buying that power like a tenant? Every year, our trains draw close to 34 billion units of electricity, enough to light a small country. Almost every one of those units is bought at commercial rates, 7, 8, 9 rupees a unit from state distribution companies, moved across state transmission networks that we do not own. In Gujarat, that transmission network belongs to GETCO, the Gujarat Energy Transmission Corporation. 2,200 substations, more than 90% of them at 66 kilovolts. We are the consumer. No, our passengers are the consumer. The people of India are the consumer. Every rupee of that bill is carried in a ticket or in the price of the grain in a wagon. And this is not a fixed cost. It is a cost nobody looked at because for 100 years there was no alternative. There is one now. Go to any district in Gujarat where GETCO has commissioned a new 66 kilovolt substation in the last few years and ask what happened to the land around it. You will hear the same answer every time. Within 2 to 3 kilometers of that substation, prices moved. Not because the soil improved, because the land finally had somewhere to send electricity. Farmers with barren plots began putting up solar plants. Some built their own. Some leased to developers for 25 years. The power travels a short distance into the state network, and the state pays 2 rupees 76 paise a unit for it. 2 rupees 95 under the farmer scheme. 276. We pay 7 to 9. For the same electricity. Here is what no developer in Gujarat has, and we do. A developer there spends months hunting for land within 5 kilometers of a substation because past that distance, the cost of the line kills the project. That 5-kilometer radius is written into the National Farmer Solar Scheme itself. We have a traction substation roughly every 50 kilometers on every electrified route in this country. Thousands of them. Standing in farmland. Already energized. Already manned. Every one of them built by us. And Indian Railways holds 4,88,000 hectares of land, of which 62,000 hectares is vacant. By the Comptroller and Auditor General's own audit, barely 0.1% of that vacant land has been put to productive use. Every traction substation we ever commissioned is a connection point that a solar developer in Gujarat would pay a premium to stand beside. We are standing on thousands of them and buying power at 9 rupees. There are 3 ways to do this, and not one of them requires the railways to become a power company. 1. We invite the landowners around a traction substation to generate, and we buy at the fence. The railways funds no plant and owns no panel. We simply stop paying a middleman for electricity being produced within sight of our own switchyard. 2. We do the part only we can do. For any small solar project, the hardest single item is not the panels. It is the transmission line work, the survey, the way leave, the towers, the stringing, the protection. It is the thing that delays projects by years. Over the last 5 to 6 years, this organization has moved from overhead equipment into transmission line construction, and we now build lines to a standard and a speed that few private contractors in this country can match. We offer that as deposit work. The developer pays. Core executes. The line is built in months. 3. Where the land is already ours and lying idle, we build our own plant and feed the traction supply directly. AREMCL is already doing exactly this at Dahod in Gujarat, 17 megawatts of solar with 50 megawatt-hours of batteries on vacant railway land. 3 routes. All of them use capability already on our payroll. One question will be asked in the first 5 minutes of any serious meeting, so let us answer it now. In May 2026, the Supreme Court held that Indian Railways is not a deemed distribution licensee, that we are a consumer of electricity, and, like any other large consumer, we pay cross-subsidy surcharge on open access power. That judgment settled a surcharge dispute. It did not close a single door. Indian Railways can purchase power directly from private generators today. We already do. AREMCL, on behalf of the ministry, has awarded gigawatt-scale renewable tenders and signed 25-year power purchase agreements with private developers under competitive bidding. That machinery exists, it is proven, and it is ours. And there are 3 routes where the surcharge question largely falls away. Where the railways generates on its own land for its own trains, there is no supply transaction at all and no surcharge to pay. Where the railways takes an equity stake in a generating company and consumes the majority of its output, the plant qualifies as captive under Section 9 of the Electricity Act, and captive consumption is statutorily exempt from both cross-subsidy and additional surcharge. The Ministry of Power rewrote those rules in March 2026 specifically to make such structures workable. And the draft National Electricity Policy now under consideration proposes reducing those surcharges further, with the transport sector named for exemption. The door is not shut. It is standing open, and the policy window is open with it. What is missing is not a legal route. What is missing is a policy that tells a zonal railway it is permitted to walk through one. And there is a second reason to do this, which will never appear in a cost-benefit statement. In every district our lines pass through, there are families holding land that gives them nothing. Too salty to farm, too small to sell, held on to out of inheritance and stubbornness. A 25-year power purchase agreement changes what that land means to them. It is not charity, and it is not a subsidy. It is a contract, the most dignified thing you can offer a farmer because it asks him to produce something and pays him for producing it. We already carry his grain. We already carry his children to their examinations. We can also buy his electricity. And there is the promise. Net zero before 2030, made in the name of this organization and this country. Indian Railways has commissioned around 900 megawatts of solar so far. The stated target is 20,000. 4 years remain. At the present rate, we will not get there by buying our way there. So this is not a request for a budget line. It is a request for one policy sentence and one traction substation. The policy: permit zonal railways to purchase power directly from landowners and generators sited within 5 kilometers of a traction substation, and to build their own plants on vacant railway land wherever it exists. Give Core the mandate to build the line as deposit work. The pilot: one traction substation. One willing landowner. One transmission line built by us. Measured honestly for 1 full year, generation, landed cost, surcharge, phase balance, the lot. Publish the number, whatever it turns out to be. If the number is good, it stops being a proposal and becomes evidence. And evidence is the only thing that has ever moved policy in this country. This organization was given a job in 1979 and finished it. We are not asking for a new one. We are pointing out that the next one is already standing in the field beside every substation we built. We have already built the hardest part. We only have to be allowed to use it.